welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. I'm your host, David Ward, for this week and pretty much every week since prior to this. It's good to have you all with us today. Today we're going to talk about a new command that I was unfamiliar with. It may have been around for a while, but I don't really recall it, and it deals with playing short stories from Audible for free. Free, that's right, $0.00. So that's kind of interesting. It may be repetitive. I don't know how often they change the stories out, but hey, it's free, so you can try it out. It might be kind of interesting to just see what's in there anyway. Also, we're going to add in a little bit of errata about Chat GPT bot skill that I was going to demo this week and actually found out it was an epic failure. And I'm also going to mention some updated information about the update feature, which I covered in a previous episode, so you can get updated on news items dynamically as they unfold. Before we get into any of these kind of things in detail, we're going to go to a brief message. That is, a brief message about our podcast, and then we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again and welcome back to the podcast. It's good to have you all with us here. And for our new listeners, I'd like to welcome you. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program, and I'm based here in Southwest Virginia. And so it's good to have you all with us. You'll find our episodes are 5 to 15 minutes long generally, unless I go really long. And we try to cover new things on the Echo, new hardware, new features. Sometimes we tackle skills and things that may be of interest, games. We try to cover it from every imaginable perspective: home automation, families, youth, caregiving situations with elderly ones, disability features for those with different types of disabilities. We cover all sorts of different things. And at the end of the episode, perhaps most importantly, for you and our returning listeners, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, I need all the help I can get. So by all means, reach out to me and I'll mention how you can do that. And maybe your comment or question could be featured in the next episode. So that would be super duper. Okay, so we're going to delve right back into this, and as I mentioned, we'll have some errata, that's errors. Well, it's not so much errors as I was planning on covering a different skill this week connected with Chat GPT, but I didn't. I'll mention at the tail end of the episode why I didn't do that, and also I was going to give you, an update, ironically, about the updates feature, which is the ability for your Echo to update you dynamically about certain news events and stuff, and I think we talked about sports or particular movie character or something like that, or actor. Yeah. So I'll cover that at the tail end of the episode as well. But for now, let's talk about Audible. So Audible is a wonderful, cool audio bookstore. You've probably been familiar with it before. We've covered it on the podcast in the past, and there's usually a way to get a free book that plays every month, but you gotta know the exact right phrase. It's something like, "Hey lady, what are the free books on Audible?" or something like that. Anyway, you have to have that exact right phrase, and we're not going to cover that today. But and there is you can buy audiobooks on there. I've talked about life hacks, how to do that in the past and get them really cheap without having to pay for the monthly subscription to Audible, where you get like 1 book credit a month or 2 book credits a month, depending on what package you're on. But today, we're going to talk about something that's entirely free, and that is the ability to listen to some short stories. So I guess maybe if you were bored for a moment, or you're trying to go to bed and you wanted to listen to a story, although these ones that are supposed to be scary, I don't know why you want to listen to that before you went to bed, but you got some options here. So let me see what some of the categories are. Actually, it'll probably tell us the categories, so I probably don't need to cover this. But it mentions here in the one of the recent newsletter updates, could include adventure, romance, nighttime stories. I don't know what that means. They're like set at nighttime, or I don't know what categories a nighttime story. But anyway, anyhow, they're short and succinct. I think they're somewhere around 5 minutes or so. And most importantly, they're free. So if you have an echo in hearing distance of me, you may want to shut its ears off. That way I am not tripping up your echo at home and you're hearing two things talk at once. Just give you a second to do that. And you're welcome to always pause the podcast and resume and then just come right back. Okay, so let's delve right into this. The phrase is pretty simple. It's read me a story. Can't get much basicer than that. So let's give it a try. Alexa, read me a story.
Welcome back to Audible Stories. You were listening to The Sweet Spot last time.
Was I?
There are 5 minutes and 46 seconds remaining. Would you like to continue?
No.
Okay. What type of story would you like?
Help? Maybe.
The Audible Stories skill lets you listen for free to short stories performed by world-class narrators. You can choose among different types. For example, nighttime, funny, scary, or family. You can also ask me for a random story. While listening, you can say restart to listen to a story from the beginning. What would you like to do?
More categories?
Here are the 9 genres you can choose from.
This will give us the full list.
Ask me to repeat them anytime. Nighttime, funny, scary, family, sci-fi, fantasy, adventure, romance, or feel-good. You can also ask for meditation, or relaxation for sleep, or just ask for a random story. Which would you like?
Random.
Here is a random story from Audible Stories.
Oh my gosh.
It's 7 minutes and 32 seconds long.
Tell me the category.
This is Audible.
I guess that's a surprise. I don't know. Ooh, got some piano there. Ooh. All right, well, there you go.
A Tale of Fairy.
Moving to Devon was the last thing Jasmine wanted to do.
Sorry, guys.
So what if it was a 400-year-old cottage on the edge of the moor?
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had the... Anywho, so that gives you a little bit of an idea about how that works. And so, pretty cool. And you got a lot of categories there, really. So that's kind of cool. All right, really super duper neat, and it's free. That's the best part about it altogether. All right, so that will bring that particular topic to a close. I did mention we were going to have some just follow-up about Chat GPT. So last week we demonstrated the Oracle of Light. Yep, that's not a pretentious title. That was a free chat bot on the A-Lady where you can query the Chat GPT system from OpenAI. It's a pretty cool way to like summarize information or pull out information, have it generate a story with different characters or a press release for a fictitious product. Just kind of crazy things we demoed in that. And by all means, go back and check that out. But one of the things we talked about was that was free. What about, and it was kind of limited. It was truncated. It usually wouldn't go much beyond like 3-sentence responses or 4 or 5-sentence responses. And then you could tell it literally like cut off. It would say like, there's more or something. So we were going to look into a paid-for service called Sparx with an X. And I signed up to do it. I did the whole thing for like a free 24-hour thing. Please do not do that. It just didn't seem to want to work very well. I did get to manage a few things out of it, like it generated like 5 different things about Abraham Lincoln and a few other things. But generally from then on, when I'm back and in, it was extremely slow to respond. And on the rare occasion would try to respond, it would say, hey, would you like me to email that response to you? Because it must have been more lengthy or something. I don't entirely understand. Now, I did love the concept of it emailing me the answers, like a really long story that I asked it to generate, or a press release, or whatever I asked it to, summarize 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, by Jules Verne. I like the idea, but the fact that it just practically hardly even gave me more verbal answers, that was like its default response, and the fact that the skill seems to have either a bug or a bad naming space that I could hardly ever trigger the skill again because it's very similar to a name by the Discovery Channel's app, something about sharks or something, Sparx. It wouldn't work. And apparently there was also some sort of power company energy product that had a similar name too. So it was almost entirely impossible to reactivate. And then I was locked into paying the $4.99 a month if I didn't cancel it within 24 hours. So I found their experience all the way around disappointing, and that's why we didn't do an episode about it. So by all means, folks, avoid that. But I imagine in the weeks to come, we're going to see products from Google. We know we got products already released by Microsoft on their website Bing, and hopefully we'll see some skill integration onto the Amazon Echo. And really, like I said, I highlighted in last week's episode the potential for making our A-Lady in the future smarter by integrating some of these AI features into her so that she's a little more intuitive, a little more context aware. I think could be really, really kind of neat. Summarize my appointments for tomorrow or something like that. Her ability, to craft information in a different way, I think could be really interesting. So anywho, we'll see. But right now, the Oracle of Light is pretty much the only pony in town. The last thing I was going to mention is I did do an earlier episode about updates feature where you could flag a sports team or an actor. I think certain economic things, maybe like about stocks or a company, you could flag certain information. And actually, it's a new feature inside the A-Lady app. But I think you can verbally invoke it as well. Say, follow, yada, 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 Tom Cruise or whatever. And I told you all that I couldn't quite figure out from the descriptions online whether that would alert you purely verbally or if you had to get it summarized it every day or whatever, or if you had to just go into the app to find it and stuff. And some of the stuff led me to think that you had to go into the app. In the end, you can go into the app and see what the new information is, but it does give you a verbal notification. It doesn't say, hey, every 5 minutes there's new news about Tom Cruise or the football team, the Eagles, or something like that. But what it will do is kind of like the Echo when it chimes at night or something. It detects that you're nearby, I think, and lets you know that, it goes ding, ding, and you ask what it is, and it gives you the weather report for tomorrow. A similar kind of feature, almost like a package is being delivered. You just get the notification that something's going on, or you get the yellow light on some of the devices. It goes ding, ding, and then you are prompted to come back and say, hey, what's going on? And she'll say, hey, there's a new news item about Tom Cruise, or there's a new news item about the Eagles, and she'll tell you what it is. So you will get that audio chime. Excuse me. I'm sure there's a way to shut that off if you didn't want that, but you will be getting an audible chime. So that's kind of cool and kind of interesting in a really fancy way to keep up with information. And by all means, go back and check out that previous episode if you have any more questions. So anyhow, that will bring this episode to a close. We thank you for your listenership. If you'd like to reach out with any thoughts or suggestions, as I mentioned earlier, we could use all the help we could get. You can do so on Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. And you can also email us at info@goodwillvalleys.com. And those are both great ways. There technically is another way I rarely ever mention, maybe once in the 5 years that I've done this. You can actually go to anchor.fm, which is our podcasting host provider, and you can even submit a audio question, I believe, if you're a member of Anchor FM. So that's another way that you can do it, and I can, listen to that. And so anywho, we thank you for your listenership. It's time to turn the ears back on your Echo, start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem, ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Phew. Thanks for listening.